Testament is releasing two remastered albums, your first two albums, The Legacy and The New Order, from
Yeah.
1987 and 1988, respectively. And I understand that they're repackaged. I saw some of your unboxing videos, and they were really cool. The vinyl's like this splattered color vinyl. You've packaged everything with all these extra photos and liner notes and stuff. So when you're digging back through the old shoe boxes full of photos and handwritten lyrics and flyers and stuff like that to put something like this together, which of those things, what piece of memorabilia jumped out at you and brought back all kinds of like really cool memories?
Well, a lot of it, actually where I got a lot of this was our original manager attorney retired, and he sent me like decades of paperwork and boxes of files. So I started digging through them, and I found like original contracts and the original letters they sent to Megaforce, pushing
Wow.
our demo as The Legacy. If you're interested, contact us, and just all this stuff. Like, holy smokes, he kept everything. So it was just kind of cool. I was like, you know what, this needs to be shared. And then I started digging through my old boxes and finding original lyric sheets, photos of the studio sessions, just a lot of cool stuff that, I haven't seen in 30 plus years, just been sitting away and tucked away. So it was kind of, when we were asked, let's, share what you got. We're like, okay, let's see what I can find. And to both me and Eric's surprise, we had a bunch of cool stuff. So Nuclear Blast, like, let's make a 20-page booklet, and put it in there. So that's what we did. We just, anything that was old flyers, a lot of original lyrics, like I said, the original contracts and all that are right there. So it's pretty cool for a fan point of view just to see how it started, what it took to like send to these labels back then. There's no internet, none of that stuff, just all letters going through the mail and waiting for a response.
As Jason likes to say, back when you had to lick a stamp.
Right, exactly.
When you listen back to the remastered versions, is there a musical element that stands out as vastly improved? Obviously, everything is improved, but is there any one particular musical element, maybe your vocals or the sound of the guitars? Is there anything in particular that's been vastly improved from the remaster?
Well, for me, just from the old one to where it is now, obviously technology's come a long way. And, doing our first record, two records, we didn't know any better. To us, we were just happy to hold it in our hand and say, hey, we got a record. Look at this. Very cool. And it sounded great to us back then. But over the years, especially when I hear it on radio, it's so compressed and so squashed and so small. And that was the big thing we really wanted to improve, because I couldn't really listen to it. It was just tough. Like, man, I just wish it was better. And we knew what we were doing. And I believe around 2002 or so, we actually went to Atlantic and asked if, we can remix these records. And they originally said, no, they're not, don't want to be involved. So we're like, let's just go re-record them, and own them. So that's what we did. And that kind of sparked, getting Alex and Greg and Louie, the original guys, back into the band again for a few years. So just, that whole thing just kind of revitalized the band at that point. And, and we went to this year now, because after 35 years, we retained the rights back. So now we license through Nuclear Blast, and we tried to remix, but we still couldn't find the masters. Atlantic doesn't have them. The studios don't have them. Alex Perry Alice, who recorded, he shipped them to Johnny Z, and so they're lost. So I received a box of stuff from Johnny years ago, and I just didn't look through it. And I looked through it, and I found the mixes unmastered on half-inch tape. So I'm like, okay, let's take those and go remaster them. It's obviously going to sound better than it did back then.
Yeah.
And, in the process, when we sat in the studio in Nashville and did this, it just opened way up. I mean, it just, the volume, all those effects we put on the records back then kind of dried up in the new mastering. Just something to it. It just unleashed the compression, and it sounds much better. I just wish we could have remixed it still.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is going through this process, is there another album in your catalog or albums that you would consider remastering, or do you feel like the rest of the catalog sort of caught up with the technology and they were captured as good as they could have been at the time and you're satisfied with them?
Well, yeah, I mean, over the years, I mean, the next record coming up for us, we are going to get back the rights in August, is Practice What You Preach. And, you know, we listened to that. And actually I have those 2-inch tapes, and we put them up, and they still hold up to the mixes. We might, you know, probably remaster again, maybe tweak it, but we want to keep, you know, it sounding original. We don't want to change much to it. Especially starting from that record forward. After that, everything we're just going to kind of let it roll how it comes out. You know,
Yeah.
I think with the first 2 records, we really wanted to kind of improve, because those are the ones we just didn't know better. And,
Yeah.
you know, as you start doing records, you want to just improve every record. So I think over time, they just kind of improved as we went along.